So you guys know how I make a lot of content in which I talk about the fact that America is full of people who have legitimately never left their small rural town and seen a city themselves before. A staggering amount of Americans have never seen a building taller than 3 stories in their entire lives. And they've never left their small town. Their only exposure to what big cities are like and what the more developed parts of America are like, the more diverse parts of America especially are like, is what they see on the news, in movies and TV shows, and on the radio, and on the internet. If they have internet. For a long time, these types of people did not have internet or cable or TV, and they just listened to talk radio, famously dominated by the right. But not everybody who's in this position is some, like, boomer conservative type. A lot of people who have lived in a small town their whole lives, never been exposed to much diversity, and have never seen a city themselves before, they're online. And they're into internet stuff these days. And they are seeking out bias-confirming material. A good example of this bias-confirming material, basically the Zoomer young person equivalent to the fear-mongering, the BLM is burning down Portland fear-mongering propaganda that the right, like adults on the right, tend to consume, is this guy's content. Tyler Oliveira, who's only recently, despite his massive virality, getting the warranted criticism that he deserves. I made a couple videos criticizing this guy's content because he tends to target Seattle, my city, as the main place where he focuses his negative content, and I live here and know that what he's saying is bullshit, so it's kind of fun just to debunk, especially when I see him on the street doing these videos and I recognize the background of the video. I know what street he's on, I've been there before, and I know how bullshit it is. Anyway, this person tweeted, I researched Tyler Oliveira a few months ago, and I think his content needs much more extensive coverage from Boy Official. This is, the Australian YouTuber Friendly Jordies, and one of his friends runs Boy Official. And Hassan the Hun. Unfortunately, they're friends with Hassan, I think. I can only describe the guy as a racist, homeless, hating right-winger who masks his rhetoric as the white moderate. He really does. And he quote tweeted this tweet saying, telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. Meanwhile, this is the thumbnail of his video. Something you'll notice if you look close enough, by the way, is that nothing in this thumbnail is real. Like, at all. He's taken a random background where he found a street with some cops and what looks like an ACAB-ish, spray paint art in the background, and then he photoshopped some sort of thing here that says fuck the police and says and photoshopped something that says warning, no cops allowed, and then photoshopped 3 black men into a place. They're not here. You can even look at the shadows and they're not here. This is not a real photo of 3 black men here, and they're not even really holding guns. These 3 black men, in whatever photo he originally took them from, they're not even holding guns, because if you look close enough, you can see the clipping, and the hands are all fucked up. He had to find guns, clip them out, and find a way, his editor probably, to make this entire thumbnail is not real. He's not really standing there. There's not really a cop laying there gagged and handcuffed. There's not really... These 3 black men were never holding guns in the original photo. They were never here. And this entire scene never happened or existed. But guys, telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. The guns look AI generated. This guy's a month away from using nothing but AI generation for his thumbnails. If we look at his channel these days, it really is just the most bizarre content you've ever seen. If you're wondering where this guy got his start, he actually started off as a Mr. Beast clone channel. Every time Mr. Beast made a video, he would try to imitate that exact same video. I'm not even joking. That's how this guy started. Tyler Oliveira, Mr. Beast clone. Yeah, here's one of the famous images showing. 5 years ago, he was making 5,000 crayons. I made the largest crayon in the world, melting 5,000 crayons together. And then he only got 954,000 views on that in 5 years. And his current grift is him. I investigated the city of real-life zombies. Fake thumbnail, and the zombies are homeless people, by the way. That's who he's referring to. This is like homeless hate content is what this is, for people who've never seen a city before. And that's, of course, getting like 18 million views in a year. So you can see where his grift naturally kind of gravitated towards. You need to understand, right-wing grift content is like an insane racket online. And when the right can consistently rack up this much money and views for telling lies, they'll always have a financially dominant stance over the left in the world. God, his thumbnails are fucking crazy. I investigated the city that pays you to do drugs. I investigated the US-Mexico border. I investigated the poorest region of America. I investigated the gun violence capital of America, O-Block. I snuck into the Bohemian Grove. There is no fucking way he snuck into the Bohemian Grove. I did a segment on that shit. They have top-tier security. No way he got snuck in. He got fucking invited because the people who go there can bring guests because it's just a fucking loser orgy party for rich, like, Silicon Valley, California millionaires and rich, powerful, wealthy people. Oh, yeah. It's very much a Mr. Beast clone thing, too. Because just like Mr. Beast, he's using the same image of himself in almost every thumbnail. In the videos where he doesn't use that same image of himself, they don't do as well. This one image is eventually going to be the only one he uses. He sometimes mixes it up, but... yeah. So many views, Jesus. Yeah. No, people love this shit. People really love this shit. This type of, like, slop content is very consistently successful. I investigated the most violent city in America. All right, let's see it.
People crazy out here right now. I done got shot multiple times, man. It's dangerous out here.
You guys are strapped?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 13.
This is Memphis, the most violent...
Listen, they're just exercising their Second Amendment rights. What are you talking about, man? Wait, what do you have against... what do you have against these young men exercising their Second Amendment rights? Are you some fucking pansy boy liberal who thinks that you shouldn't, a 13-year-old shouldn't have a gun? What is this? What is this cuck saying? He thinks 13-year-olds shouldn't be walking around with a gun in their waistband? This guy's some kind of cuck? Some kind of liberal? Some of these thumbnails include anti-black stereotypes. No, literally the focus of this video is to be anti-black, okay? Like, the entire point of this is to be like, hey, look, aren't these black people scary? For his, like, white Zoomer audience. They don't want black people to have guns? Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you've got, like, your normal gun enthusiasts that, like, are absolutely thrilled to see diversity in the gun sphere because they just want to see more people being part of the sport and hobby of shooting guns. But then you've got the people who've made, like, guns their entire personality politically. Not in, like, an enthusiast sports type of way, like I do, but in a political way. And those are the people who you'll typically see, like, I love the Second Amendment, but only certain people should have it. You know what I mean?
Violent city in America.
This graph shows the violent crime trend in Memphis dating back nearly 40 years. The last few years have been the most violent in the city's history.
Are you on any drugs today? Yeah.
By the way, what I really love about these videos as well is they're capitalizing on something that is actually the opposite is what's happening, you know? Right now, violent crime is dropping to the lowest lows they've ever seen, especially in cities. New York, Chicago, Baltimore, these cities that have all famously had high crime even, are seeing record lows and record drops in crime, particularly violent crime. So the hilarious thing about these videos that are getting so many views is they're basically just for, like, suburban and rural white people to feed into a fear of a thing that's actively going away. Like, the cities are getting safer, and yet the right's response is they have to keep the wheel going and convince these people that they're actually getting more dangerous, when the exact opposite is happening. A similar situation as with Biden's economy, where we're seeing unprecedented, record-breaking economic growth, unlike anything we've seen since like the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. And the Republicans, like, you watch Fox News economic segments, and they're like struggling and fumbling over themselves to interpret all the green up arrows into something somehow bad for Biden, or to find a way to say that Biden has had no impact on it, and it's actually not a sign that Biden is creating a good economy, even though the economy is good under Biden. It's really, they desperately have to cope and convince you that reality isn't happening, so you're convinced the problems they say they will solve are still problems, and you'll elect them to solve those non-existent problems.
I got shot on my arm. I got shot on my side, back.
Yeah, these guys look awfully, like, healthy and, like, I don't know, fit, and just, like, normal dudes you'd see just, like, on the street to be supposedly, like, gang members or crackheads or whatever. Like, yeah, it's very, like, it makes me wonder, like, does this guy just find random people and give them $20 to, like, bullshit in a video, and then he never sees them again? Yeah.
I didn't expect so many people to get shot.
Got shot in front of me.
What? That doesn't look like a scar from a getting shot surgery. That looks like a scar from, like, some kind of, like, procedure. Like, that does not look. Is that what it looks like when someone gets shot in the gut? Was it like maybe if it was a hollow point and they had to cut some shit out? I mean, I guess those look like they could be bullet wounds. That looks like it could be a bullet wound, and it looks like he could have been shot here maybe. But, like, fuck. Yeah, it must have been, like, hollow points in his gut for this. Jesus Christ, he's lucky. Well, I mean, people survive that all the time, but he's lucky he can, like, eat and shit just fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's not fun. Fucking hell. Yeah, it almost looks like an appendectomy scar. Actually, DeLancer, are you here? Does this look like a medical scar to you? Does this look like it was a procedure? Like they had, like, maybe this guy had his gallbladder out or something. This guy just paid him to say, yeah, so you got shot, you know? What's this look like to you? Yeah, that's an op scar, not a gunshot wound. I mean, obviously that's not a gunshot wound, but if you get shot in the gut and it's like, I don't have, okay, hold on. I can demonstrate for you guys a little bit. I have total metal, this is a total metal jacket round. Hollow points, basically imagine instead of it being a flat end here, it's hollow, like a little bowl in here, and then it's got like little creases for it to break apart when it hits something. So if the projectile went into your gut, it would shatter apart, and you'd have pieces of lead jacketed in copper just spread through your guts, and they would have to cut you open and remove them. So that could be what happened to him, to be clear. That could be what he's talking about. Here, I'll rewind a little bit. Well, actually, no, we're going to skip the coming up section bullshit, because I hate when YouTubers do this. I genuinely despise it.
Shot.
Got shot in front of me. That's funny.
Funny?
You can just walk over to the store, come out.
Crimes rose 7%, robberies rose 20%, rapes rose 41%, and murders rose 34%, breaking Memphis's own homicide record again. But why is Memphis becoming more violent despite violence in America trending down? And what can be done to...
Okay, at least he acknowledges that violence in... Oh, sorry, I'm not playing the video. At least he acknowledges the violence in Memphis is not, or whatever he's covering in this video, is not correlative to the rest of the country. But then he still says the whole country is in this state, like with his whole channel, so it doesn't really matter. 41%. Yeah, he dropped the meme percentage.
Fix it. First, I want to see if everyday people in Memphis feel safe on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you.
Does it go down at night here?
Daytime too.
Daytime too?
The city is safer, dangerous.
What? What? Does shit go down here? Yeah, in daytime too. Look, they've literally got, it's like the fucking Christmas lights are up. This is like the nicest little downtown, like, main street walkway I've ever seen. Like, there's just some, like, family.
The city is safer, dangerous as you make.
Like, there's just some guy, some family standing here. Like, Oh my god, it's so scary.
What do you mean?
You don't go where you don't belong. You know?
We're trying to ask some families out here, basically, if they feel safe out here in downtown Memphis.
Most times, kind of, sort of.
No, I'm just saying I don't go places I got no business being.
You don't belong in downtown Memphis?
I didn't say that. I'm here, aren't I?
Anyone should be fine right here, yeah?
That would be my expectation.
It'd be really funny if, like, every black person they interview is just like, yeah, I mean, I mostly feel safe, I guess. Like, not any more dangerous than I'd feel anywhere else, I guess. Like, no opinion, really. And then every white person they talk to is just like, yeah, you know, I try to avoid being in places I don't belong. You know, I don't want to get jumped because, you know, I walk into the wrong neighborhood. And it's like every white person he interviews is convinced that, like, the city's super dangerous and they've got to avoid certain areas, and every black person he interviews is just like, I mean, I don't think it's any more dangerous or safe than anywhere else. I mean, it's just downtown. It's the street. It's broad daylight, you know?
Statistically,
To be clear, though, women are statistically far less likely to be assaulted, killed, or have a violent crime of any kind done to them by a stranger. Certainly by a man who's a stranger. If a woman is going to be murdered, sexually assaulted, raped, anything like that, it's going to be by somebody that she already knows. But for guys, you're far more likely to be assaulted, killed, whatever it may be, a violent crime done to you by someone who's a complete stranger, just some rando, right? Like exponentially so. And so I guess if you're a guy, maybe your answer might be a little different. Although women kind of act as though random strangers are more likely to go after them than men, but not always, so it's kind of hard to say. I don't know. This seems like it's more of a racial thing. Like, it honestly seems like white people are, like, on edge believing that, like, they're buying into this propaganda that cities are more dangerous to them than they are. It's like, no, you could just, you're not going to be assaulted by people on the street, like going to get groceries or something. Like, it doesn't matter how bad of a neighborhood you're in, okay? That's a very unlikely thing to happen. Unless you are, like... I mean, it's never bad to be, like, careful. I mean, like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm the super careless, I'm not worried about anything person. I own guns, for God's sakes. But, like, there's a difference between being prepared for the worst and having, like, a safe mindset and being, like, constantly existing in a state of unpleasant anxiety. That is not healthy or fun or a good way to go through life. And I don't think that's what people should do, you know? I think people should be a little bit more open-minded to the idea that what they're hearing online claiming at cities that have millions of people living in them maybe aren't a war zone of death at every corner. Maybe they're a bit more safe than you would think, considering the millions of people who choose to live in them and move to them because they are a city.
apparently not the case.
Yeah, I mean, around certain areas, like, we try to avoid, I guess, downtown.
This place is a shithole.
Joel, what are your thoughts?
I'm carrying a gun, so if that does anything.
This kind of fear-mongering stuff.
It's all the conservative white guys that are like, yeah, this place is a shithole, I carry a gun. Because they're scared of black people. They're scared of there being, like, diversity in the city. One thing that's neat is there are some cities out there that are basically just a single city surrounded by flyover country. Memphis is one of those cities. So you've got, like, big city, lots of infrastructure, lots of diversity, and then you're a 20-minute drive from being in the middle of nowhere, pretty much, you know, like out in the sticks. And because of that, you got a lot of these chuds that'll occasionally be in the city, and when they come to the city, they're expecting roving gangs of brown people to be throwing bricks at their car as they drive through. And so, yeah, they're going to be carrying a gun just at all times when they enter the city, because they live in constant fear.
It's no good for people.
What if it's statistically corroborated, though?
Complete bullshit.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about statistics.
It's my first time visiting Memphis. Information from a buddy of mine kind of said, hey, stay here, don't stay here, kind of thing.
Are you strapped right now?
It's in the car. He did say to come strapped.
Yeah, that's an important detail.
Why is he asking people if they're conceal carrying? If any, like, I would answer no, even if I was, immediately no. Like, the point of conceal carrying is you don't tell someone and they don't know that you're carrying a gun. You don't want people hearing. You don't want, like, the business you're about to enter probably knowing you're conceal carrying, because some businesses aren't super happy about that. But if they never know because you're concealed carrying and you're not, like, fucking flailing a gun around in public, then it never ends up being a problem. But, like, what? Don't ask somebody if they're conceal carrying. What the fuck? What? Are you strapped right now? I'm sorry. If someone asked me if I was carrying, I would expect there to be some part of a gotcha coming for it. You never tell people in public, certainly not strangers, when you're carrying a gun. Never, never, never. It's concealed carrying for a reason. Especially because if someone sees your gun, like, this is a very unlikely scenario, but theoretically it could happen. You could, like, lift your arms up to pick something up off of a high shelf in a grocery store, and that could, like, lift your shirt and show off your gun a little bit, and someone could spot that. And if they can identify your gun, they can call the police and say you're brandishing a firearm in public, a very illegal thing to do. And if they can identify exactly what your gun is because they saw enough of it, there's not a lot of reason for the cop to not believe the person who claimed you're brandishing a firearm in public. Do not even hint at the idea you're concealed carrying. It is concealed for a reason. No one should know about it unless it is necessary, which is the 1 in a trillion chance that, like, an active shooter like comes along or something, you know, like, or you get confronted by a violent person who wants to hurt you and is about to hurt you. The only time I inform someone I'm carrying is when they invite me to their property. I mean, I guess that would be a reasonable circumstance to do so, but it's just so weird. This guy's a weirdo.
Detail. Honest answer. Do you feel safe here?
Memphis? It's okay.
It's okay. Do you guys feel safe in Memphis?
No,
No? Are you guys gonna go downtown tonight?
not tonight. I try to avoid sundown.
It depends on where you go.
Okay.
Downtown, yeah, it's pretty safe working downtown, yeah.
What about right here?
Yeah, it's pretty safe, yeah.
Statistics are bullshit. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics, brother. Take it easy with all the fear-mongering.
How's that fear-mongering?
It's very simple. You're asking me about murders and if I feel safe here.
You just say you feel safe.
I do. I told you I absolutely.
I like how this guy started off by, like, being kind of amenable to the guy's position. The guy started being annoying and questioning, and he started to realize this dude was fishing for an answer from him. And then he got, like, angry at him. And is now like, okay, what kind of bullshit are you trying to spread? Dude's the grift that keeps on grinding. Oh, yeah, this guy's going to be around for a while. This guy's going to be, like, one of those big clout YouTubers that's going to be at, like, every big YouTuber podcast and stuff like that because he's so ambiguously right-wing. Kind of a, like, Wendigoon situation. Yeah, pretty much.
But then I walked away and you said something. The safe as you make?
Is as safe or as dangerous as you make it.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Well, he brings up a good point. Who do these statistics actually affect? Are everyday people seeing these crimes happen around them? Besides hearing from the news and social media, have you ever seen anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see someone get shot.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty
It's
chill?
very safe, yeah, very safe.
There's mad creeps out here,
Yeah?
There's a lot of fucked up shit going on, but it's what you make it like everything in life. It's mad chill here. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. There's a lot of friction associated with the discussion of this may in fact be the most violent city in America right now, statistically. Violent city?
I really love how this is the video, and the thumbnail is... Can we go back and look at the thumbnail of this video really quick? Can we go back and look at the thumbnail? Oh my fucking god! What? I investigated the most violent city in America, and you've, of course, got the black man and, like, the torn wife beater with a bloody machete, and then the sign that just says, warning, you will die! Warning, you will die! Warning, must have guns! Warning, perverts only! Warning, all drugs are legal. In San Francisco, apparently. That's the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. Warning, cancer in the air. And then, of course, the warning, no cops allowed one, where it's the 3 black guys who were never holding guns in the original photo they were, like, pulled from off the internet and then pasted into a completely fake... I love how every one of these, like, he's reporting on the truth, guys. He's just reporting on the truth that everyone's too afraid to admit, too afraid to bring to you, you know? He started out as a Mr. Beast clone, but then he had his eyes open to the truth of the world and realized that he's not doing this for money, guys. He's not doing this for money. He's doing it to bring you guys the truth. I investigated New York City's illegal immigrant invasion, and it's like the police beating the shit out of some guy with the dog about to attack too. Like, I guess that's the illegal immigrant, and it's an invasion, so that's supposed to be good. How are these thumbnails pulling views? Do you not know what kind of thumbnails do well on YouTube? This is like perfect virality bait. What do you mean? The more shameless your thumbnails and titles are, the more likely the average lowest common denominator person on YouTube is to click the video. This is like... absolutely the kind of shit people click on. This is like perfect thumbnails. This is like flawless thumbnail making. If you guys think this is bad, then you guys fundamentally don't understand why right-wing propaganda works on so many people. Anyway, I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about all this, like, just slop generation content that's going so viral lately. I truly feel the left is in, like, one of the biggest cultural ruts it's been in a while, where, like, the biggest left-wing figures are all dropping, like, off the charts in regards to their numbers. Hassan in particular really dropping, which is probably going to be a good thing for the left in the long run, don't get me wrong. But it really feels like everything's so disjointed and unorganized at the moment that, like, the general consensus is that, like, the left sucks among most people, especially online. And it seems like we're genuinely entering Gamergate 2. Like the right, as they've called it, Gamergate 2, it's happening. So, damn. TLDR, fuck Tyler Oliveira. True! I'm curious to see what you guys think. If this content's able to drum up, like, millions of views in just a few days, and it's, like, the top of YouTube trending and everything, do you guys think we're truly entering a new era of Gamergate, as the right says? I'm curious to hear what you guys think, but, comment down below your opinion. It helps my channel a lot, and I'm curious to read your comments. Leave a like, thumbs up if you want to help my channel. It's totally free, and it really does go a long way. Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already so you get notifications and everything. And, of course, please consider following me on all my social medias linked down below, as well as consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon. Don't forget to buy merch if you want to buy some merch, and don't forget to join my fan Discord if you want to be a part of the community. It's a great time there, so consider joining. With all that said, I hope you liked.